Welcome again, everyone. Another video. Today I want to talk about, you know, I get to ask this question a lot by, why narcissists can't be loyal, why they cannot stay loyal. I want to give a different kind of outlook on it and explain it from a different point of view. So, if you were to look inside of a narcissist, what would you find? Most say they're empty on the inside, right? There's nothing there. And this is why the narcissists look for things outside of them to make them feel complete or to validate themselves. Have you ever looked or have been searching or looking for an apartment online? Nowadays, this is pretty much the way that you go about doing that. You look through, they have the pictures, and they display fully furnished models. These pictures are nice. They have the right, you'll see that they've dazzled up the place to look appealing, to attract a new possible resident, right? Your imagination pretty much kicks in and begins to think about, how nice it would be if you were to live there. And at this point, you're pretty much captivated. And if you like it, you're drawn to live there. You're drawn to be in that place if you like what you see, of course. The advertisement at this point has done its job. And that job is finding a suitor to rent the unit. But what the picture doesn't tell is that the property has shoddy residents, theft problems, poor maintenance personnel, and management, right? But the property has its own objectives though, and that's to constantly keep their units occupied. This is paramount to the survival of this property and the survival as a business. I promise I'm getting to a point here with the narcissist, so just stay with me. How does this relate, though, to the narcissist being loyal? Well, just like the apartment property that is dependent on occupants to survive as a business, the narcissist also needs occupants as well for their survival, right? And the narcissist has to get a person to commit with them under the false pretenses of being in a serious monogamous relationship that's supposed to be fulfilling and satisfying. But of course, you don't know that they're liars, they're unfaithful, abusive, manipulative. You don't see these things coming. They're not going to display that. But you've managed to interact and move in on the basis of the model floor plan / or the model character of what the narcissist has presented to you. Some of you may say, but they moved in with me. But trust me, this was according to the plan of the narcissist. They already had a plan before you even met them. They have a script. They go off the same thing over and over again. Okay. Now, getting back to the whole occupant thing, narcissists have an open door policy to anything that that anyone, or at least that wants to do a transaction with them. The narcissist has to constantly have a new tenant to rent themselves to. So you have to see the narcissist like rental property. That's how I see him, And I've said before that every so-called relationship with the narcissist has an expiration date. Some people get into a 3-month term, 6-month term, 1-year term. Some people spend 20 years with these individuals even. Either way, it doesn't matter to the narcissist because they operate in a in the capacity similar to rental property. They're not designed to be kept. That's not how their business works. They function by having multiple tenants or people. Let's just say people, but for this analogy, we're speaking metaphorically with a lot of things. They have people that come and go, pretty much. And the narcissist is completely fine with that. They're not looking for anything in depth or to connect with someone on a deeper level. It's just business as usual for the narcissist. And one of the major issues for the person that's with the narcissist is not realizing that when they signed up to be with a narcissist, the commitment read lease and not purchase. And there's also 0 term set, right? You have to understand that the state of mind of a narcissist is not to be kept in anything committed, especially to one person or being normal, Well, I'll put it this way. To be committed to one person for a narcissist is too close to being normal, average, and it's very limiting to the narcissist. The narcissists don't see themselves as loyal. Average, or they don't see themselves as like other people. They feel that they're more superior and thus have the ability to do things outside of what everybody else values and commits to or agrees to. They don't feel like they have to follow those rules. Therefore, for the narcissist to be committing themselves to one person, it almost brings anxiety to them. It's something that they can't really see themselves being involved in and engaged in for a long, lengthy period of time. Just doesn't work like that for them. The narcissist is an addict, and constant attention and adoration is their drug of choice. Right? They want large sums of it, and getting this from just one source isn't going to be good enough for them. And that's the thing, anyone and most people, until you find out that that's what you're dealing with the narcissist, you have to understand that just the way that they're wired, how their minds are, and a supply or a new person has to be switched out. They have to. They cannot keep one person with them. Even if that person, think about it, even if that person is doing everything that they're supposed to be doing with the narcissist will still be unsatisfied. The potency and the things that person does wears off very quick because they're used to changing out and exchanging people like residents, like rental property, as I put it. They're used to that. So they almost they expect that. And in a lot of ways they look forward to having a new occupant. Someone that they can rent themselves to, that's going to be excited and happy and full of joy that they're in their new place, or that they have their new narc. It's a rush that it's like no other rush for them, that want to have a new person giving them all this attention without knowing about all the other issues and problems that are going to be coming towards them by being with this individual that's a narcissist. Because just like earlier in the example that I was given in the analogy, you first move in somewhere, it's nice. I mean, it's empty though. You know, the model floor plan was just to get you there, but it's empty. But you don't understand and realize all the other issues that may be going on with that property. But nonetheless, in the beginning, you still try to make the best of it, and you tend to be happy, right? Well, the narcissist knows eventually you're going to find out about all the issues that they have. And they know you're going to want out. They'll try to keep you there. But you're not going to be satisfied. And so guess what? They have a bunch of different units to fill that they you know, for people who they can rent themselves out to. And that's why I say with the narcissist, these are transactions that you get into with them, not relationships. Not at all, not in the least bit. The narcissist is an empty vessel. They're empty inside. And that's why they need the new supply in their lives constantly to feel good about themselves, to feel themselves, to feel they need that new individual that, you know, the when the person lights up, that they can see the light in their eyes, and the, you know, all of this you know, pure energy that they're absorbing from someone who's completely unaware about the nightmare that they're about to go through with these individuals. A single relationship just isn't gonna get it for them. It's not gonna work. Not for the narcissist. Not in the least way. Being loyal as a narcissist would put them out of business as being a narcissist. Anyway, that's all I have to say for this video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Again, thank y'all for all the support. If you want to continue to show your support, make sure you go get the Departure of Empathy 1 and 2. It's still available. We finished up Departure of Empathy 2 a few months ago, but my documentary Departure of Empathy 2, which goes into the details of, you know, the illustrations of showing you different scenarios of how these individuals act out and how these roles may play out in people's lives, but giving you the visual. Of course, you've seen them, you've been able to read and listen to people talk about it, but actually seeing, you know, reenactments and stuff, kind of, you know, gives you a different look and perspective, which I think is good as well. If you want to get a copy of that, you can click the link in the description box. It'll be there. You can get your copy of Departure of Empathy 2. A lot of you who are new to following the channel, I usually recommend start off with, I have a e-course audio, which is the Anti-Narcissist Awareness Training Academy. Goes over everything from A to Z, the jargon, the different terminologies. That's very good to start out with as well. But make sure you get that. Show your support. Share the videos too. Until next time, have a good one.